Hey YouTube, it's Empyrant, and today I want to take a look at a potential hidden benefit to a couple of upgrades in Age of Empires 2. The main upgrades I'm looking at in this video are Husbandry, which gives all cavalry units plus 10% movement speed, and Squires, which gives all infantry units plus 10%. At face value, these upgrades seem pretty simple, basically helping your units to catch up to your opponent or run away faster from his units. However, these upgrades shouldn't make any difference once units actually engage, right? Well, let's take a look and see. Right off the bat, I want to point out that I'm not revealing any hidden attack speed increases or anything like that in this video. What I'm actually looking at here is whether or not a slight speed increase in battles can help lead to a slight edge that can consistently snowball into a victory for one side. For our first test, I took a look at 10 knights against 10 knights, with both sides having the same attack and defense upgrade. Both sides have bloodlines, and neither side has any special civilization bonuses helping them out. The only difference between the two sides is that blue here has husbandry and red does not. Normally, we would expect these fights to be very close, with each side winning on average 50% of these fights. However, after running this exact test 50 times, the real winning percentage was a bit different, with blue winning 60% of the time compared to red winning only 40%. What I believe is going on here comes down to unit bumping and unit pathing in order to find the next opponent. Any large-scale battle in Age of Empires is going to involve some random bumping and often odd pathing from units trying to find their next target. This element of randomness can make even fights at the start easily snowball for one side or the other each time the engagement occurs. With slightly faster units, there is slightly less time bumping and running around, giving our blue units slightly less time trying to reach their next target, which means slightly more time actually attacking. Even if this gives the blue side only a couple of extra attacks throughout the entire battle, that can be enough to swing the fight towards blue, leading to them winning 60% of these battles. While this is a fairly significant variance from what we expected, it is certainly possible that we just randomly got more victories for blue by chance. After all, if we flipped a coin 50 times, it's pretty unlikely we would get exactly 25 heads and 25 tails. In order to confirm my suspicions, I decided to up the number of units in my tests to 20 versus 20, since this should lead to more bumping, and as such, give a bigger advantage towards our blue side. I also decided to test a couple of different units. We have our knights again, but we also now have hussar with the same setup as the knights, and also champions, with the only difference between our two sides being that blue has squires and red does not. So did this lead to an even bigger edge for our blue side? Well, as it turns out, it did. After running more than 50 tests again with each unit type, I found that the knights in the 20 versus 20 tests won at a 66% rate. This is definitely improvement over our 10 versus 10 test, but it actually is not as impressive as our other two unit types here. In our other tests, the blue champions with squires managed to win their fights 69% of the time, and the blue hussar with husbandry won an incredible 78% of the time. At this point, I found it pretty hard to deny that Husbandry and Squires was having a significant impact in these fights, and definitely helping to sway our results. To really confirm what we've seen so far though, I decided to do one more test, trying to look at the biggest speed difference we could normally find in a standard Age of Empires 2 game, with Cuman Cavalry and their 15% speed boost in Imperial Age against Cavalry without Husbandry, and Celt Infantry with their 15% speed boost against Infantry without Squires. With 20 Cuman Knights in the Imperial Age against 20 Knights without Husbandry, but otherwise equal upgrades, the Cuman Knights won the fight 68% of the time, very slightly better than the 66% of the time that our Knights just with Husbandry did in the same test. With 20 Cuman Hussar against 20 generic Hussar in the same test, the Cuman Hussar were able to win an incredible 80% of the time, again better than, but only slightly, the 78% win rate that our Hussar with Husbandry had in the same test. Finally, if we look at our Celt champions, we find that they win against 20 generic champions without squires 77% of the time. This is a fairly significant boost over the 69% win rate that our champions with squires managed, and once again highlights how an extra boost to movement speed can influence engagements. So there it is guys, a little extra incentive to pick up the speed upgrades for your units in your games. This is certainly not to say that these are the most important upgrades, as I would generally recommend picking up blacksmith upgrades or bloodlines before prioritizing husbandry or squires. However, Knowing that the upgrades won't just help you track down your opponent's army, but also will help you win the engagement that follows is still a useful thing to know when weighing whether you should get these upgrades or not in a game. That's all from me today though. Thanks for watching this video everyone. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up down below, hit that subscribe button, and leave any questions you may have down in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, I hope to see you all on the stream sometime, and have a good one.